I always like thread at least some sort of theme throughout the class that you'll see. I'm guessing that by the end of the hour, you'll be so tired of making a circle with like either your whole body or some limbs that you'll never want to see another circle again. Okay. So you'll definitely see a whole bunch of circular things. So I'm gonna move myself back. You can sit in like relatively usual position mid-mat. I'm just gonna change up your leg setup. Okay, so sitting here, if you could just let your legs go into a small V, like an external rotation, and then pick your top foot up so your heels are touching. So I just have a little open gap here. From there, I'm gonna take my hands back behind my legs. Situate yourself as needed so you can feel like your sitting bones are sitting underneath you. And then from this grip behind my knees, I'll take a breath and round myself back through here. Now it's the heel pushed together that's going to be mostly my grounding sensation through my foot at this moment. It's the world of same but different. And exhale, pull yourself back up. And should it be harder or easier, it's really just going to be dependent on your body and in the space and time. And same but different. So we'll just use what we have. We have your hands. We have your heels. Trying to push them together and down. As we hang off of this, like inch by inch, I'm pulling my body backwards. In through the nose, letting it go to come back up. 2 more times. Should you want to go lower, you can always bring your hands lower down the back of your leg. Paying cautious attention to too much like stress in the side of your neck. Any bracing or holding in your breath. This is a cue where maybe you go too low in your range for right this moment. We have so much work to go through. There is no need to make this energy output drastic. As I have myself like rolled back in some sort of elongated position, not too compressed, I'm going to take my right leg and bring it over till it touches my left leg. And it goes knee, toes, like the whole leg line is going to touch it. And then I'll bring it back open. Use your hand grip, go left to right, pushing it over. Open the gap, going right to left. And I'm ensuring that like the ball of my foot and my knee are 2 places I'm trying to create contact. Push over, peel back apart. Okay, let's go. Right knee to left knee. They are now touching at those points. Keep them touching. Push them the other way so they're pointing to the opposite side of the room. And then push them to the left. I don't know what side you're on. We're doing 1 more set. Go to one side. Toes and knees point. So the strip of my head to my tail is attempting to stay in the center. Boozing my physical leg. And then come back to the middle. Reopen the gap for me. And pull yourself back up. Getting our hips up a little bit more. So as I come down to this one, I'm going to take my left hand and bring it over to the outside of my right leg. So it's going to grab onto the outside. And then we'll take this other arm and lift it up straight into the air. So I have some sort of rotation already. Take a breath and rotate a little further, looking up underneath that armpit, and think that the hand holding your leg is giving you some leverage to find a deeper twist. And then come back to the small twist we began with. Give a little tug. Turn the ribs back. And back to center. 1 more time. To finish here, I'm just going to hold the twist I've found. Take the right leg that I'm holding and squeeze it over to my left leg like we did earlier. We're just not looking at it at this point. 3 times. Foot touches, knee touches. Exhaling as it taps the other side. 1 more. Reopen. Let's bring your hand back down and roll back up. Last time we go take it down to the mat. So here we go. Roll it back. I have my pelvis into my body. The awareness of my ribs. Go right hand, left leg, left arm, up high, like right next to my ear towards the ceiling. Little pull around to a deeper twist. It's not quite center it because I think this arm is probably already twisting you. Turn more. Back to slightly less. Last one. Little twist. Now you take your leg, push it over to the opposite one. Reopen it. I am so using my hand, pressing both into it as it opens and resisting it as it closes. It's doing it, just not quite like wanting to. Resist both ways. One more time. All right, let's take your hand back around. Open them back up. We go down to the mat, and there's we will stay. All right. Now that was a lot. I kind of already feel like on the back, the hips. So I'm gonna have you take your legs up and pull them apart until they're just slightly wider than your own body. Okay. And then from there, I'm gonna grab the inside, like the knee area, like a little bit below it. Grab right about there, and then press your legs a little wider. Like peel yourself apart. Feel a stretch up the inside of your leg. Push into your hands with your legs. Bring them back together. Pull yourself apart. Like an oyster. That you succeed in it, but it's done what happened. And then press back together one more time. Pull your legs apart. And then just check out if the back of your hips are like way lifted in order to do that. Because we still want to be aware of our spine positioning. Once I have that, take your feet, think of your feet, and turn them inward as much as you can without letting your legs actually come back together. Bring them back up to the side. So if you continuously press your hands out into your legs as you turn your feet in, we create some resistance there. One more time. Turning it in, and then letting it go back out. And then take your hands, and if you can slip them to the outside of your leg and push them together. I'm going to slide a little bit lower down the base of my thigh, keep my knees together if I can, and then turn my feet out and back to center. Turn them out and back to center. Two more. Internal rotation. So feet are way wider than my knees. Keep pressing your thighs into your hands, but open the gap of them. And then bring the knees back together. So they're staying internally rotated. I'm just opening them and shutting them, pushing my hands around, out firmly, in firmly. One more time. As you come back to the center, take your legs relatively normal tabletop, but then I'll cross my left ankle over my right ankle. And my knees will be in that little turnout there. Take your hands behind your head. Widen open your elbows, breathe in. And let's come up to lift your head and chest towards these cross ankles. And then lower yourself back down. As we do these intro curls, getting the shoulders up, cradling your head. Should think of the leg position I just done. Visit in your mind like a child sitting in crisscross applesauce on the floor. Okay, 2 more times. Just keep that picture in your mind. I'll lift this one up. Now my ankles being crossed had nothing to do with like where they are to the back of my leg, right? They're kind of high to level. If you let them drop to the back of your thighs, it looks a little bit more or less like that crisscross position. And then take your ankles back up to knee height. Think of squeeze them in. Like everything else we've done so far, they're coming down, but make it like a resistant thing. The bottom ankle pushing up helps that. Let's take them down. Leave them down, right? They're the back of my leg. How far could you drop your knees, like the thighs, now moving out away from my body until now it's really looking like a crisscross sit, and then bring them back up. Could you switch your ankles, please? And then bring them back down to the drop of your thigh. Take them back up to knee height. Drop of the back thigh. up to meet here. One more time. They stay dropped now. Let your legs move down. My knees are moving. My femur is moving out from my hip. How close I can get these legs down is a key with hip mobility, right? And then we pick them back up, keep them close to the back of the thigh. Switch your ankles. Go down one. Go up one. Switch your ankles. Go down one. Come up one. Switch your ankles. Awesome. Go down one. And it's hard. Where's the pelvis? It's stable. It's not arching. Come back up. And then take your legs to tabletop. Push your head down, please. And have a moment. I thought I'd make all that leg dropping stuff a little more interesting. Okay, if you could take your legs up to straight, let's get them moving here. Now I'm gonna have you do the same thing with your head down as you'll do with it lifted, but have all four limbs straight up. Let's let both right things, arm and leg, go in the same direction, which is down. And then once they get as low as you think you can support with your back, take them out to this side. Bring them back up. And let them touch. Go to the left. Left, guys, go down, out to the side, and back up. The other side, right? The one that's not moving is really focusing on not moving. What? Go left. Do we use down that right side to keep myself heavy enough to work against rolling over? We go one more set with the head down, pressing into the back of the mat. Upset. And all the way back up. All right, let's leave those legs zipped together enough. Let's take the arms down and pick your head and chest back up. Okay, so let's start with your right side. Right arm rises so it matches the leg. Goes again, down, out to the side, way back up. Let's stay on that side for 3. Down, out to the side and up. Now up with that arm means it can go way behind. Like make as big an expression as you can control on the opposite side. Let's switch on. Left arm up. We go down with both. Out to the side. Same movement. Down. Out. And up. Stick yourself into that mat on the opposite. Last one. Down. Out and up. Good. Bend your knees. Let's place your feet down onto the floor. In line with your sit bones. Arms for now, right at the mat. Pull your toes free. We need all 10 of them. Now let's start to pick your bridge up from tailbone, up the back, widen across, open the front of your hips, and then roll it back down. Let's do 3. Now the advancing motions as I go through this will be to remove your arms first and foremost. Please feel free to keep your arms down. It makes it super tricky. I'm going to come up on my third, but you can investigate those sensations here while we still have both feet on the ground. I've got myself into a good line from my knees to my head. If you can take your arms up and float them to whatever like height your body is at, and then turn your palms in. I want you to squeeze your body line together, feeling your shoulders push down more. Make it some arm work into your side. And then take your heels for me, please, and try to pick them up. And put them down. And pick them up. You're just like a straight line, keeping yourself tight and narrow with those arms. I'm now focusing on my heels, trying to go up with timing. Avoiding one dominating. Last 2. Or push through those toes, all 10. Told you we needed them. Now, if the arms were to stay elevated, this is how they'll be. Other than I'm going to turn my palms towards the floor, but I can still feel my thumbs against my side here. Take your right leg and could you pick it up to tabletop? Just slide past your arm. Place it back down and pick it up. Having my arms like such. They don't have the floor, obviously, right? But they also don't have the directional opposition to help me. They're not reaching back. That would be easier. Forward, One more time. Okay, my knee is bent and it is in the air. Could you take your arms? Bend your elbows, but they're still not touching the mat. Take a breath. We'll straighten the legs, straighten the arms, same time. Feel the thumbs touch. Bend it back in. Three things straight, touch the thumbs. Back in. Now, some people might know an exercise in Pilates called coordination. It's really for abdominal work. I want you to straighten them out. Open, close both the leg and the arms. Go open, shut, re-bend them both. Out with all three. Go open, shut, bend them both. So we're still doing the same thing. Two more times. Out straight, open, close, re-bend. One more. Open, close. Oh, that's hard. Come all the way down. I feel like my glute wants a hug, so I'm just going to give it one. Your feet back down. Okay. Get yourself into successful space here. Leg movements. Continue them lower down, right? Make everything smaller so that something's successful. Successful is key here, okay? So as we take your arms, if you wanted, and lift them up, feel the thumbs against your side. Let the left leg slide in past the thumb to your wrist. Down to the floor. You're a human airplane. With their arms, fly straight. The other sense it's creating is like an awareness of what my pelvis is doing. If it dips real weird on one side, I'll feel that via my arm. One more time. Perfection does not exist, but just awareness of what you're doing. All right, here I'll bend, and I got three things bent. Go three things straight, but own it out there. Bend back in. It's no big rushes, like make a mark on the opposite wall with your toe. Just make sure it's there before you return. Okay, we go adding the open shut. Two arms, one leg. Open all three. Wide. Rebound. Really tries to wave that other leg around. Last two. Out. Open, close. Our part's a little faster on purpose. Slowly out. Open, close. Come all the way back in. Back down. And rebound. Okay. So if we can bring your legs back up to tabletop, this will be something of a release while still working. I'll have you take your hands, clasp them one over the other one. Raise your arms up, but try not to pull your shoulders too far away from the floor. Find that marriage. Legs to the right along with your pelvis. Now without your arms up to press into, we're gonna have to balance a whole lot more on your control. Come back around to over to the other direction. With the highlight of where the shoulder blade is in the mat. Kind of sinking it down. Each inch I go over, let's go to the right, which means my left shoulder blade will want to move. Center. We have one more rep on each side. Let's take the legs to the right, please. Find your control and just check in with your body that your low back isn't like popped up. It's not touching the floor with your tips, but the in ribs, bottom ribs towards pubic bone. We still have connection here. Now take your bottom leg, should be your right one. Let it widen a couple inches away from the other. Bring it back up. And that's just gotta happen uber slow. It's more weight trying to pull me over too. Addition. Shoulder blade. Think of it. Work it. Let's return to move the other direction. Find a tip, it could be small. And let the bottom leg challenge you to go wider. back to touch the other. Tailbone is a little up from underneath. Final two. Exhale it back to center. Let's grab your knees and take your legs out straight on the mat. Okay. Flex your feet, please, with your toes up and your legs as tight as you can get them. Let's bring the arms up into the air. A few variations here. I'll have them reaching back to start with. Breathe in a deep as the arms come forward. Let's exhale that air out. Reach forward and out for your fingertips. Let's keep the arms as high as the ears. Flex the spine forward over the legs. And we're gonna break this down. Let's all put on a very ugly stripe shirt, like Freddy Krueger thick stripes. Maybe that's like 6 or 7 segments. Go down the lowest stripe on that ugly sweater. And then come back up. Go down 2 of the stripes. Just go in your brain. Come up only 1 of the stripes, which means lower, right? So you're going down lower than you're coming up. Go down to the middle stripe. We might be working towards center back. See if you can not quite touch the whole rib cage area. Come up 1 single stripe. Go down past your middle back. Your towards like right under the scapula. Come up 1 stripe. Push out through your feet. The leg work here is like, let's go down 1 more time. I'm gonna touch right below where like I would think of the top of my shoulders to be. And come up 1 spot. From that, go back down. I was like, counting. I hope that was as helpful as I said. And reach the arms behind. Roll up is the whole sweater. The whole shirt can come. Stretch forward over your knees. You went through that with me. We all like cursed me out at a different spot. I'd like you to go down to the spot where like you were right above where you cursed the loudest. Janine. And stay there. Turn your right hand so that your palm is facing in and open the arm out to the side. Bring it back to the center and do it again. Just put that hand over for 2 on the other. Palm in. Out arm. God, how heavy does this side have to be? The alternate. Resisting the arm. Flip the palm face down. Roll yourself in the mat. 1 more time. All the way up. Reach through the fingers. Continue the curve up and out through the head. Cross over the legs. Okay, we're going to console your body. So as you roll back, take 1 arm, wrap it across like underneath your bust line, and do the same with the other. I'm just giving myself a big old hug. No, it doesn't matter which one's on top. Okay, I am already in a bit of a roll down. You turn yourself to the right and turn yourself to the left. This will be as locked and loaded of a rotation as you can ever experience. You've lost the feeling that your arms are moving you. But what I can think is that my head stays very much in the center of my mat. There's no leaning here. Kept it really tiny and tight. So if I can go to the right, you're still here with me. Think of kind of coming forward a little bit, but not all the way to sitting. Back to around to center. Turn the other direction. Roll back a little. Let's do it off that side. Think of rounding a little over your own arms. Pass through center. To the right. Rolling back a little. So small. Going up a little. Stomach ache. Center. And back 1 more time. Out through those heels. I'm forgetting at them too. Go forward a little. Oh, pull in from your arms. Back to the right. To the center return. Come all the way forward. We're staying up. Okay. We will be going into a kneeling position in many, many, many ways. Okay. Starting off in all fours stability sequence. I'm going to take my hands down, but I will break this up between sides so that you're not on your hands for all of it. You'll just still be kneeling. So as we go through here, taking your left leg and just bring that one straight back behind you. The advancements of, right? I remove an arm, can always be placed back down, but I'm going to take my right arm and bring it up off of the mat, turn my palm in, and just like my bridge, try to bring that arm as close to my body as I can with pressure. My hand probably won't feel it, but my arm can. Now let's take that back leg and we'll pick it up. You can think about those two lines, the arm and the leg being as long and strong out from my head as they can be, and I'm picked up through my ribs, avoiding any arching feels. Take your back leg and bend it at the knee and straighten it at the knee. It's going to remain high here. And just repeat the bend and stretch. Into you, out from you. The whole sequence, this left arm is going to have to keep pushing the ground away firmly, or I'll start to sink down into it. 2 more. Now, once I have it bent, I'm going to look at my hand and think, how close could I get to reaching my foot if my foot came across and my hand reached back more? And then come back to your start position in the center. We're going a little off center with everything. The body opens, the hand reaches, and maybe the leg can kind of press in a little to get closer to it. 2 more times. Reach across, turn across. My head goes, my eyes go. I'll hold this position. Now, you're as close as you can be with your foot. I'm not touching it either. Keep yourself in this position, but straighten your legs so your foot touches the floor on this side. Bend it back up. On that side. Back up. Because we did bring it across a little bit in goals. 2 more. Touch. Rebend up. Last one. All right, recenter yourself. Place your hand back down, leg back down. You can sit in child's pose if you'd like to put your wrist over and give it a press. But we're going to rise up onto full 2 kneeling position. A little thigh stretch from here. So with my arms down next to my legs, grow tall from head to tail. We're going to hinge before I add some optional back bend. So I'm going to try to keep this line straight and tight. Take your arms, as you hinge back, the arms will rise about shoulder height. The gaze should still be forward. The ribs still into your body. The arms come down as we come back up. It's so easy to go into like a low back extension here. I have to check myself all the time. You think if your sacrum pressed in and your hips out too far, that occurs. So this little back into your body. Quad work should be present, hence the name of the exercise. One more time. Please feel free for this to be you. Like you're just practicing this little back and forth motion, letting your legs assist you from behind on the way up. Otherwise, let's take your right arm, and only your right arm goes up. As you glance underneath it and turn a little, come back all the way up. Let's do the other. This is still might be okay for you because I didn't do an extension. Left arm up, just a rotation. Notice that the knee weight is still relatively equal. We want it to be. Let's do the right arm. Here comes the extension cue. Same building blocks. Now, if you'd like to, take the other arm forward a little bit and find a little back bend. Or windmilling up to assist you. Left arm goes up, rotate, turn, lift the chest, let the other arm assist you because you want a friend to pick you back up. We have one more set, guys. The additional range of motion, the hand can touch the ground perhaps. Right arm goes up, rotate, start that back bend. What would you have to do to get your hand on the floor? You got it, you can really push into it. Then push off your hand like a rebound to carefully come back up. Last side. You're doing whatever you're doing, and that is cool. Arm goes back, up, all the way. Give those legs a rest. Sit yourself down. Okay, let's repeat the first thing that we did, okay? So onto all fours. Right hand is the one that stays. Right, yeah, right. Right leg goes back. The left arm, if you're using it, is going to be right alongside your body. So think of trying to hold a very teeny tiny book between your arm and your rib. And then we'll take this leg and pick it up. Give yourself a moment. There's never a rush to jump to motion. Picture the position. Head is that way. Tail is that way. What do I say? Forward from under to hold those lines. And the back leg bends. Straightens. I want to envision that the thigh itself is like smashed on top of a table. It can't go lower than the table. Tries to stay on it. Bending from the back of the leg, knee high. Push that floor away 3 more times. Anything that takes you out of the line you created in your back of length, refine it. I have it bent. I'll do a glance. Glancing at my left side, trying to think that the hand and foot come closer to each other. Back to where you began with. Where we ended is where we begin now. Across the center. Repeating 3 more times. So many things have to occur on this right side to allow your leg its range over. Don't overthink it. It's just whatever you can do today. So once I have it, take your foot, go straighten it down to the ground and back up. However far it came across. My new thought line is that it stays across. Drops from there. Twice more. And last one. Let's take that leg back around. Go ahead and sit back again. You can flip your hand over if you want that one-sided wrist stretch. Okay. Finish up here. Still no hands, but 2 knees. Take your arms, please, and bring them out to a T. I'm still starting upright, but instead of going backwards, I'm going to go forwards. Let your backside, your hips, go back a little so that your spine finds an incline out in front. And then come back up. We're leading from the bottom going back rather than the chest going down. They are connected, but this is our priority one here. So we're going to do yet another. My thinking is I'm not going for this extension. My butt is back, but it's not lifted up into an arch. So tail down, try to feel a straight line here. If we can do that, I have to press to the tops of my feet. Take your upper body, rotate towards the left, keep your arms super wide, and back to the middle. To the right, and back to the middle. Diagonal arms, diagonal back. And I feel underneath my feet, my ankles, how hard it is to keep my body supported with this really unsupported base. One more time, over to the left, please. Your arms are so far apart. How close to getting your fingertips to touch the ground could you do? And then back up. 2 more. You stay looking at the back now. Flex your upper back down, just once. And then bring it back up to that straight diagonal. One more time. The chest. Coming down like I asked you not to do before, but gets picked back up to where you were. Let's go the opposite direction to finish. Find yourself. Take it down. Think middle mat with the hand. Letting the head go a little. Soften at the upper back. Reach to the backhand. We need an assist in here to come back up to that diagonal. Little round. Come back up. Use those feet. Last and final. It's a part of it. Woo! So, up. Back to center, and then let's come all the way up. All right, you guys, let's have a seat. Spin your feet around. Bunch of these circular motions that I'm going to give you here all have a progression reason. I'm going to start you on your forearms with your fingers facing in. Elbows about as wide as your shoulders. And then we'll take your legs and bring them up to bend. Starting with what you can stick with should you choose. But as I'm here, let's try not to sink. Push down to pick up the chest and take your legs a little bit towards the right. Once they're to the right, let them sweep down towards the mat, letting the hips and feet pass through center. Left and back up, right? Circles. Here we are with that. Going to the right, down, around and back up to the other direction. Does, when your legs go away, you lose weight in the opposite forearm. Just as we did the TikTok on your back earlier, and it was your shoulder blade, here it's going to be your elbow, your forearm, your hand that might not know how to stay in place. This is fine to continue doing, you guys. Or could you straighten your legs? Do the same. We'll still do 2 in each direction to the right. Longer is heavier, harder, and all the things. Last 2. But I want to find my perimeters equal. Like I can see where my feet go on the rug beside me, right? And I want to try to hit that same place on the left. 2 to the other side. Chest supported out of your body. Middle, everything's there. Around the other direction. Last one. Left, down, around, and up. Go ahead and let your legs, you can bend them if you like, or sweep them out to straight, but we're all going to get them there. Walk your hands up, 1 and 2. Fingers are already facing in, and now they should be a little bit under your shoulders. Just check that they're in the right place. We'll press down through those heels, pick your hips up, push your chest up, and you're attempting, if you attempt, to push your toes down into the ground. If I gave you a foot spasm, my apologies, it happens. And then roll back down. Now that just like, it's so distracting because your feet can't articulate that way. Leave yourself on your heels, guys. Just work the other side. Get yourself pushing with your arms up out of flexion. And we have 2 more, whichever way you'd like to do it. But your arms only have so much power. The power has to come from underneath the body. Underneath, underneath. The back, the glutes, the chest going wide out the shoulders. One thing never gets anything done. One more time. Soften yourself back down. Bend your knees. Let's roll back onto your back. Okay. Here we go. As you bring your legs in, I'll have you slip your hands behind your head. A little crisscross, because I'm going to have you do it on your side, lying down at the end of class. Let's come on up with your head and chest. We'll keep the same knee to us for 3. So let's go left leg straight, right leg in, wide open elbows. Keep your legs like this. Turn yourself to that knee. Turn yourself away from that knee. Turn yourself to that knee for 3. That was your 3. So as you come around again, switch legs. Leave that knee there. Turn away. Turn to the center. That was your 3rd. So as we twist again, switch legs. Keep the leg there. Turn away. Turn towards. Switch legs. Turn away. To it. Switch legs. It's one more set. Turn away. Keep the head like swiveling around with the back. Last time, switch legs. We don't lose height. Just change the gaze. Come back to the center. Bend your knees. If you need to place your head down, go right ahead. But then we're going to take the legs up into the air. Taking your arms at your sides. Let's make yet another circle. So as the legs go down, it's up to you how low, but the arms will rise above them some amount. Let the arms keep going. Once you want to stop with the legs, open all four things. Circle them back to their start position. Repeat. Legs down, arms go up. The legs got to stop. Go ahead, but keep the arms going. Keep the arms going. Circle them out and bring them back to your body. One more time. Down legs, up arms, staple back. Open, open, up. There you go. Bend your knees and lower your head down. Okay. So this is like, I'm driving this into your body in so many ways. I'm going to take my arms and place them at my side. Legs up. We'll do a corkscrew. You essentially did it on your forearms already and on your back with bent knees. The legs go to one side. Let's go to the right so my cueing makes more sense to me. And then down. They pass around the middle of the mat with the hips. They're towards the left, the same degree as they were on the right. And you stop there, okay? Because I will introduce you, I want your fatigue. Go one to the left. Intentional, controlled, arms and shoulders heavy use. And back up. Let's leave the legs there and take a breath. Curl your tailbone up 3 inches and place it down. Bitty bitty up, back down. 2 more. We're going for a corkscrew overhead. If you'd like to play with that with me. Otherwise, little pieces of all this are fine to practice. We make our corkscrew starting to the right. As it comes up from that left side, we go up and over towards your right shoulder. Because it's already at that angle. Okay, so you keep the angle, which means that as I roll down, I'll be rolling down a little bit more of this right side. Right side back. Right side mid back. Low back. You get to the center and you level yourself off. Take your legs to the left. Around. Up from the right. As they're coming up from the right, they're going to that opposite left shoulder. Now the key is here is your whole body, if you're here, is your whole body like way over to the side of the mat? Or is your back still in the middle of the mat? Your legs just pointed. Rolling down the left side. And that is why it's really hard to stay in the middle, and making this adjustment once you get down is super funky. We have 2 more, one in each direction. And then tell yourself that people have a Pilates practice their entire life, and they never stop going WTF with the corkscrew overhead. Legs to the right shoulder. Like, I swear to God, like, it's so hard to get in your brain as well as your body. So down this right side. But think my spine is in the middle. It's just a little rotated, which is why I was doing this. Spine center, legs go left, around to the right. It's exhaustion just to even try it. So you're working, I know you are. Down the left side, shoulder, side back, mid back, low back, you're in the center of your knees. Okay. We're gonna be done staring at the ceiling in about 1 minute. Just checking time, sorry. And here's how we go with that. Now, one leg, let's keep the left one straight on the mat. Take your right one and pick it up and point it. The one on the ground, let's flex it like we're doing roll-ups, because that's how it best helps us down here. Take your head and chest, raise it up towards this leg. Here we go, arms up high, concentrate. The leg, I'm gonna go across me a little. Let the arms go the opposite direction. They're gonna circle, leg down, arms behind. They magically come to the top. So what they're doing is making a circle opposite. Leg goes left, arms go right. Big circle. And come back up. Hold right here for me, please. Could you roll up into a one-leg teaser? Stay where you are and repeat what you did lying down. Leg left, arms right. Way behind the head. I'm telling them to. I don't know that they're doing it. Roll down out of that one-leg teaser. Raise your leg down. Repeating. Flex foot right. Raise left leg. We're up. The arms are higher and they're ready to go. Left leg across as the arms go to the, you say that right so you don't get confused. Leg right, arms left. They go to the foot. Pass the big old circle. Twice. Leg one way, arms the other. Make the circle. Make the circle. Around. Back up. Let's focus on the quality getting up for a second. Breathe in. We'll up to that 45 leg. But again, leg goes right, arms go left. Circle. And up. One more. And up. Roll yourself back down, please. Bend your knees. And give it a hold. We are finishing this in a second. Take your arms up. I have my legs here. I'll take a breath and try to come up into a Caesar with bent knees so that you know that you can stay here. So if you're fine, take your arms to the right, up, and to center. Take your arms to the left, up, to the other side, back through center. Do this again, one to each side, or legs go straight. Again, the arms to the right, up, and center, to the left, up, around through center. Watch legs down towards the floor. Stretch. Okay, we're coming into a plank position, guys. Thought that was confusing. Wait for that. I'm gonna have you go into a clock, essentially. You're gonna be a human clock, a circular plank. So let's take your hands, play with it. Please don't go into, oh, I can't figure this out. Like just if you're in a plank and you're moving, you're working, okay? So I'm gonna take one leg back, take the other leg back, and have a separation between my feet. To get the least confused, just think about what you're moving first and next, okay? So I'm gonna take my right leg, step it out as far to the side as my hip and my body will allow and land it. Take your right hand and you will cross it in front of the other one to the other side. So we moved 2 out of 4 things. The next thing is your hand that's underneath, goes around so it looks level with my shoulders again. Then you have one other leg to move. Take it and step it so that your plank now looks just moved. Leg has to come back first. Left leg steps onto the mat. Left hand crosses underneath. Right hand comes back center. Right leg comes back center. Did you get that? Let's do it again. Right leg out to the side. Right hand crosses over left. Left hand goes into right under my shoulder position. Left leg comes center. I've pivoted on my feet so that I land in a real plank. Left leg comes back first, big step. Left hand underneath. Right hand back to a start. Leg lands free. One break, take your knees down, sit back for a sec. Of course we have to go the other way. Okay, here we go. Let's see how that goes, right? I have no idea what you're doing. I hope you're just let's take your body up to the plank. First thing is left leg going wide. Big step, right? It's a thing into itself to get it out to the side as far as I can. Left hand crosses underneath. No, it doesn't. Take it back. Crosses over the top. And then you bring that right hand. I can see my shoulders right over my wrist. I have this remaining leg to do. We bring it around to center. I pivot, and I'm back in a plank. Right leg out wide. Right hand goes underneath. Left hand back onto the mat. Left leg back onto the mat. Here we go. Leg left. Left hand across the top. Right hand. Right leg. One more time. Right leg wide. Right hand under. Left hand. Left leg. That's all done. Bend your knees and sit yourself back. Okay, come on down onto your front lying position for me for a moment. Okay, take your hands. Bring them out. Bring them out in front of your shoulders so your elbows are what's underneath. You will, for the most part, have to be picked up into a little upper back. I think that was my mat. Everything. Into a bit of an upper back extension. Now draw your ribs up away from the ground. That doesn't mean it's picking your physical stomach up, but it's going to keep you from just falling into the arch of your low back. We'd like this continuous line from the top of your head down to your tail. In order to do that, take your tailbone and press it underneath you a little bit, and that'll also help to close the rib cage gap. Let's take your legs, attempt to pick your feet and your shins an inch or two up for the ground. This already has me working to try to pick those shins up. Take one leg and bend twice into your backside, essentially. So we go kick, kick, straighten. Repeat to the other. Kick, kick, and straighten. As you repeat, remember when we were on all fours, and I said the idea of keeping your thigh high, but bending your knee in anyhow. I'm here to so much of that work in the back of the leg without my hip bones bouncing back onto the ground flat or zigzag. You have one more set here. Straighten the ribs up. Straighten, good. Lower your legs back down. Let's take your arms out to the side. I'm keeping my palms facing the floor. Let your legs separate. Let's let that happen. Take a breath. Pick your arms up without actually picking up your chest. I'm still smelling, it's not on it, but I'm smelling the mat. And bring your arms back down. Shoulders. How far can my arms move? Back, back, back. My upper back just has to contract just to move my shoulders. Tailbone down and under. 2 more times. See how far they can fly. And as my arms are up, my back is like already busy. It's picked up my arms. Take a breath in, breathe your mat in, and try to pick your chest away from the floor. My arms are already high, and they'll stay high. I really have to think about this, because I don't get to use the momentum of them come back down. Breathe in. Envision your chest moving away from the floor. Regardless of how strong your extension is in your body, this should be so shallow that the eye gaze doesn't really change away from the mat. Think of the head growing longer out in front. And one more time. Shoulders could be getting tired. They've been held back for a while. All right, I'm as up as I can be, and so are my arms. Take your legs up behind you. Make sure you're not dumping into your low back. Keep your palms towards the floor to finish this, and bring your arms towards your body. Now, if your palms are still down, it would be your pinky finger that touches your leg. Open out to the side. Arms stay high. And then back. And can they go so far back that they touch something? Palms still to the ground. 3 more. And open. Exhale them back. Last one, we open. Arms out wide. Let's lower yourself on. Down. Okay. Counter stretch. Into a sit. We'll go onto our sides to finish up. Okay. Slide back into your view. And I'll lay down onto my one side with my head in my hands. It doesn't really matter which one you start on. Let's just roll over. Well, we'll need this hand today. Okay, so take this hand down in front of your chest. Rest your head here, and then take your legs to the front corner of your mat, please. Okay. Could you use your arm so much that you could pick your legs up a few inches from the floor, or just some amount of inches, and then come back down? Now, I could use this arm one of 2 ways. One would be where I fall into it, my shoulder drops to my neck. Let's try to keep the shoulder back so that the head can stay erect over my chest. These are not common sense things to do. We have to think of them. All right, so if I can get both of my legs uplifted some amount, take your top one. I'm using flex feet for this. Bend your knee towards your elbow and see how close it can come. Maybe you can touch it. And then straighten it back over the other. And bend. And while we're doing this thing, which is already work, I want you to flip me over in your mind onto your back. And what would that look like if this was an abdominal exercise?
laying on our back. Right? One knee in, one leg out is like ad nauseum visited in abdominal work. You're still doing it, different gravitational relationship. So if I can bring my knee in here, okay, I've got it pretty close to my elbow, and pick my head up like 1 inch off the floor. Take a breath. Could you start to round your back towards your knee a little? And then I have to, like I said, I gotta use this arm. Straighten it again. Round towards the knee a little bit. 3 more times. And the quote ab exercise of it becomes a little bit more obvious. 1 more. I'm not breathing for emphasis, it's just hard. Come back to the center, place your head down, place your legs straight, but leave them elevated if you can. You could always put the bottom one down. Well, let's go up, let's go down. Up, back down. 1 more time. Lots of open shuts on the legs, leg circles, right? That was the theme. When you take your legs to the most minimal lift, where the bottom ankle isn't touching. So they're up, but barely, okay? Sweep them forward a little and back a little. Stay hovering off the ground. Forward and back. Let's move those legs forward. Open up the top one. Bring them back. Close them back together. Forward, open, back, and center. 3 more times. So we have our double leg circles. Right, go back into flipping me over on your back. And we're doing it again. 1 more time. Forward, open, circle, and come back. Okay, almost done. So let's take those legs. We'll bend both knees in towards your elbow, trying to keep the bottom foot up and back out. Still doing ab work. That was the thing. Let's just see how it's all the same. 3 more. Little curl. Getting myself out of the way. 1 more time. Good, and then you can put those legs on down. Take your hand, help yourself to sit up. You spin your feet the other way, it'll get us ready to sit down, but let's also just do a mermaid, because that's like a lot, right, on that side. Arm up as straight as it can come to the ear. Hold your own feet if you can. Really, like whatever's comfortable. This is the thing that we're after. Okay, and then let's come up and just spin around onto the side. Now, you as a human with like organs are mostly in the center, but the limbs themselves towards the front corner, and then rest your head down onto your arm. Hand directly in front of the ribs and press down all the way to the wrist. It is a wrist extension. It's another part of the practice. So if we can take your legs and flex your feet, let's lift them up a few inches and back down. As you saw on the other side, working through it, it's a continuation that stays with you. But the top leg can always do the stuff. You want to put that bottom one down. 2 more times. This top shoulder is attached to my back and not so much into my chest wall. And then once I'm up, it's my top leg I'm after. Bending the knee towards the elbow, maybe touching it. In for a moment. The line of my spine for now, straight. Straight, straight like a plank. So I'm holding in through here to keep myself from hanging in my back the same way I would in a plank. Wouldn't hurt as much, but it's still the shape. So I'm gonna do the 1. And then we've taken you out of this, and we're gonna think of it as like the stomach work on your back where you curl to your knee. And we'll just have to lift your head and neck a couple inches to get it done. And then you can put it back down. And we have so much of the arm to get us there. Like what else? What else is gonna get you there? Let your head, chest come forward towards the knee. Just try not to pull your chin down onto your chest there. Last 2. Push off the floor to go around. Bring yourself back on. One more. Okay, relax the arm a little. Take your legs back together. I will lower mine to a barely there present lift and take the top leg up and down. Forget that. It's the chance for my abductors to do the bigger thing. One more. All right, legs stay together to go. Little swish to the front. Front, middle, front, middle. So as they go more front, I'll take my top leg. Open, bring them back, middle to close. Forward, open, middle, close. More. Using the gap on the way back. Last one. Bring both legs together. Take a breath. Bend both knees in. Little scrunchy. Push them back out. Arms got work again. In and out. Last three. One more. All right, let's bring those legs back down. Take your hands and push yourself up. You can fling your legs around the other way. I'm not sitting down again. It's just to do that counter stretch. That's for a couple of minutes over, but I don't think you guys mind too much. If you need to go, please go ahead and do so. I didn't take 30 seconds just to finish you back onto a little body weight position. Okay, so if you can take your hands back to flat, open your fingers, take your legs and step them back one at a time. We're not going to do that circular plank thing again, but I will have you pick that one leg up. So let's do the right leg. Pick it up again for me. Take it out to the side as far as it can go, like we did before. Let it land, leave it there, and then take your right arm. And if you can let it go, open up to it and find a stretch. If you just push that floor away with that other hand and other foot, and then take your hand back around and down. Swing the leg back. Left leg goes up, out, as far land as you can. Foot on the floor firmly. Take your left arm. Open it up. Like I feel like a nice stretch through the hip flexors of this back leg as I turn away from it. Let's just repeat it one more time on each side. Leg back, starts in plank. Press to stay there. And let's take it and open it up. Push the two arms apart. Another saw for you, and take the hand down. Take the leg back. Other side to finish, leg out one. Stick the landing up in the air. Push the ground away. Okay, arm comes back around. You can take your leg back around. And just get yourself into more of a folded, relaxing-ish stretch. We're gonna walk your hands in closer. Leave the back of the legs in a state of length, which might mean that they're bent, but in a state of feeling lengthened. Take your arms and cross your wrists. Keeping the hips as far over your ankles as you can as you come up, rather than behind.